Hello and welcome. I'm Annette Reeder from the biblicalnutritionist.com. And today I have a special guest who's going to join us. If you have ever dealt with autoimmune issues where you are just bedridden, you're young, you're a mom, you're a caretaker of your home, you work full time, and yet you're now found bedridden. You can't get up. The pain is too great. If this describes anyone you know, please stay tuned to this interview. I have a very special lady who's going to join us, and her story needs to be heard by everyone. How God healed this person is so amazing, and it brings it back to exactly what I teach you, God's recipe for excellent health. It comes from understanding how much He loves you, and then taking how much He loves you and understanding how He created your body and the foods that He provides to bring the healing. And sometimes other items as well that can be used to help initiate that healing. We are blessed today to meet Leisa Higbee. Leisa is a new friend of mine for the last 3 years. Once I heard her story, before I even met her, I heard her story, and I knew I wanted everyone I know to hear this story. No matter what autoimmune issue you have, please listen to this interview with Leisa. Well, before we get started with that interview, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out biblicalnutritionacademy.com. That's where we have all of our courses. You can take them at your own pace, and you can learn God's recipe for excellent health. Whether you want to understand the Bible verses that talk about health, you want to study about your gut, you want to study about a nutrition assessment, and you can just ask yourself questions and reveal how God's going to bring healing. It's all there at biblicalnutritionacademy.com. All right, let's hear this interview from Leisa. Well, Leisa, I've been waiting for this interview with you for quite a while. I have watched you over the last, 3 to 4 years. It's been a while. And I always see this radiance. I always see this beautiful smile. And I always see this, beautiful woman. And you admitted before we got on this call that you're actually older than I am. So it's like, okay, there's hope. I can have this look forward to. But I realized when I heard your story for the first time, this isn't how it always looked for you.
No.
So tell us about before the change, and we're going to talk about what that change was, what brought about the difference, but take us back to where you were before you were able to change your health.
Okay. I was literally very traditional in my approach to my health. So I went to the doctor, I did what the doctor said, I took all of the prescriptions the doctor told me to take, and, I never really took responsibility for my health. I did not have any understanding of nutrition and how it affects everything, mentally, physically, and even spiritually, because I believe that when you're out of balance in one place, you're out of balance in all of them. So I didn't understand that. And I just am so grateful for what I've learned over the past 5.5 years with the things that I've been learning and doing. And it's been such a blessing. So about 7 years ago, I woke up in the middle of the night in the most excruciating pain in my left arm. I actually thought it could possibly be a heart attack. I mean, I've never experienced pain like that. And there was nothing that was settling it down. And then a week later, it's happened in my right arm. And then it started happening in different places all over my body. It was where the tissues were starting to harden. So it got to where I couldn't even close my hands. My tissues, my skin, you couldn't have pinched skin on my body. I would turn my face and my whole face would just be like this. It was like I would look up and my whole, it was so frightening, and it was changing everything about me. My energy plummeted. Literally, I was in bed 95% of the time because it took everything just to get up and go to the bathroom. So it was changing my life in every single way. And the symptoms were progressing so rapidly. And so I finally, a year after these major symptoms, because they had been testing and all these things, and they just couldn't get any answers. It was about a year later that I was finally diagnosed with diffuse systemic scleroderma. And that's where the tissues inside and outside of my body were beginning to harden. They'd found a little bit in my esophagus and a little bit in my stomach. And so it was scary. There was just nothing. And I ended up being on about 11 different medications, which, that alone, you talk about brain fog, especially as we get a little bit older. It's our memory, and there's a little bit of brain fog that comes, especially if we're not eating healthy or exercising, which I wasn't doing so much at that point. And so it was out of control, and it was just scaring everything out of me. I would say the crap, but I'll try not to say that. And anyway, I was being robbed of all quality of life, and my stress and anxiety and depression were just off the charts. I'd struggled with anxiety and depression pretty much most of my adult life. And, but this was, and I'd been on medications at different times. I hated what they did to me. Hated. And so I was fighting going back on something with everything I had, but I knew I was in trouble. I really was. You can't lay in bed 95% of the time not being able to have any quality of life and not have that affect you. So I had met with my doctor, and we were going to go on to these specific drugs. And I said, but let's wait. I'm not ready to do that again, because that was almost as bad. The feelings and the kinds of effects of those drugs were almost as bad as what I was experiencing, So it was like, I don't know what to do. And it was 2 weeks later that I found something that helped me. So did you have a question?
Yeah. So what was the prognosis? Okay, so I can see that it's escalating. What was your doctor giving you as for hope? What was he giving you as far as a prognosis and a hope for what was going to come next?
My doctor was awesome, and I love her, and she's one of the specialists in this field. And she basically, the hope was, let's try and manage the symptoms. That was it with these drugs and things. There's not a lot out there, and do not search the internet for hope. That's all there is to it, because the more I searched, it was awful. But they said that I asked, so I know that this is a killer. How long does someone have once they're diagnosed? And I said it can be anywhere from 3 to 15 years, and I'm thinking, wait, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to live. And like I said, I found something that helped me just shortly after that. And it has been such a blessing for me. And part of that was, I knew that I had to approach my health from every part. I needed to approach it physically, with nutrition, with exercise, mentally, with mindfulness, and also exercise, because I believe that helps. And then spiritually was just key. And being out of balance in one, it doesn't work. Got to keep trying to maintain that balance.
So there's going to be a lot of people that can relate to what you've been going through, or what you were going through. So what was going on? Because I teach a lot about the gut and the brain and the microbiome and all of that. Had your doctor even looked into what was going on with your gut? I mean, had they done a stool analysis? What were they even looking at that connection and how that might be a contributing factor? Did they look at that?
I love you that you asked this, because literally in my very first meeting with this doctor, one of the very first things she says, if we can get your gut healthy, you will feel better.
Oh, well,
that's what she said. And she's, that's not typical in the traditional medical world. And so And it's like, what, are you calling me fat? That's how stupid I was about it. I just was so uninformed with how I'd heard of leaky gut, but she believes that most autoimmune issues are from leaky gut. And
Wow.
so what does that mean? How do I fix that? What is there that what's out there that we can do naturally without all of these medications, and that's what I found. And she was so impressed, literally 3 months later after I found what I now use. She was so impressed. I went in 3 months later, and visually, I mean, this was nothing short of miraculous. I kid you not. And I say that with all my heart, because it gave me my life back. It truly gave me my life back.
Okay,
and so
before we tell everybody what you did, I'm going to keep them hanging here for a little bit.
Okay.
Because I really want us to understand what just happened. So the doctor said, if we can just heal your gut, she identified leaky gut leads to most autoimmune diseases. Okay, so for everyone watching us, that's a real big takeaway. So she identified it. Did she offer any suggestions for how to heal your leaky gut?
Yes, she did. She says, I want you to go on a really good probiotic.
That's pretty much it could be anything and everything.
Yeah, that's a crapshoot, basically.
Right, it is.
And I want you to go on the FODMAP diet, which is for inflammation in the body. So I went home and I did those things faithfully. I went right to the store to look at the probiotics, a health food store, and it's a wall of probiotics.
Yes.
So it's like, which one will be best? The one with all the numbers, and that has more of these, or the ones in the refrigerated, section. I bought the most expensive one because I thought that had to be the best. Right. I mean, when you're looking at, not living, it's your life becomes much more priceless. And it's like, I will do whatever I need to get whatever I need, so that I can feel better and have more of a quality of life. So
did it work? Did the probiotic work?
No.
And did the FODMAP help you?
No. So what was happening was the FODMAP program was, it was making me more and more reclusive, because our social world, so much is around food, and it was like I became more and more reclusive, and it was like I just didn't even feel like I could go anywhere. It was such a dark, scary time for me. So 3 months later, after she had, I had been working with her for a year. I was on the immunosuppressant drugs. I mean, all sorts of, like I said, 11 drugs. So I'd been working with her for a year, and it was 3 months after I started on these products that were so helpful to me that I went back in, and she's going, what are you doing? What? You look great. And it's like, why didn't you tell me which strains of probiotics that I needed?
Yes.
And I mean, I had no idea, that was even a thing. So I learned that how important the specific strains of probiotics that we're taking. I mean, just to pick up a bottle of probiotics, you have no idea what those strains are going to do. One might be for diarrhea, one might be for constipation, I mean, so it doesn't even, you don't even know. But if you know the strain and the studies behind those strains, then that's where the magic starts to happen. And that is the latest, newest science in probiotics. So important.
Let me pause you there. So you explained how you had the pain, you explained how you had the skin tightening and all of that. And you kind of hinted also on those were dark days. So you're saying what was going on in your gut was totally affecting your mental wellness. And so you became reclusive, kind of because the diet was so different. And a lot of people, that was a really big takeaway for a lot of people to hear you say, because they're experiencing the same thing. The doctor said, well, do this. And they're like, it's just too hard. And they still weren't getting to the root of the problem. They still weren't getting the healing that they needed. And so, but what about the mental wellness? Like to what degree were you dealing with in that area?
Oh gosh. So the first response I had after starting on these products was that I was able to close my hands for the first time in 18 months. That was big. I'm a hair and makeup artist. So overnight, I lost my business.
Oh, wow.
And there was nothing I could do about it. I couldn't hold on to things, to take care of, to cut hair or blow hair dry or do someone's makeup. You kind of had to use your hands. So it changed my life completely. Once I started on the products, I was able to close my hands within 10 days. It was about 10 days that I was able to close my hand. Every time I'd move my face, it wouldn't pull. So my skin was softening. And then and my main reason for trying these, because I was told that they would help with my mental health. So I had no idea it would help with my physical health. I really had no idea. And so when that was my first response, it was like, what? What is going on? It was so exciting for me, and what a bonus, but it hadn't helped with my depression and anxiety yet. And that came after about a month, 6 weeks. And then it was like this mental fog lifted, this depression and anxiety lifted. And I have still, even though I've gone through some really difficult things, I have never gotten to that place again where I just didn't even know what to do. I was so depressed and discouraged. And so what I learned was that this actually, when you get this balance between your gut and the communication between your brain and they actually call the gut the second brain, when you get that communication happening back and forth in a more healthy way, nothing's blocking it with all of the crap that we generally put in our bodies, your whole body responds. So it's not just going to help somebody with an autoimmune issue. It will help somebody who might have just mental fog, or might help somebody who might have memory issues, or it might help somebody who might have weight issues. I mean, I was losing weight and I wasn't even trying. That was the thing, it was really amazing to me. It just started making my body work. You give your body what it needs, and it's amazing what can happen. So it's been awesome.
I'm keeping people on just hanging out there waiting to hear how you did this. But I really want to make sure we understand where you came from. And so you've described it really well. And now you're leading us all into understanding how the gut was affecting your brain. But first of all, I like how it was so quick to see. I mean, 10 days is very quick to see such an amazing healing to happen in your skin. Mm-hmm. And that's how the gut works. As soon as we get the right probiotics, and I have a friend of mine, she says, if you don't get the right probiotic, or you just don't know what to buy, it's like throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping it sticks.
Exactly.
It really matters. And the what you were looking for was mental wellness. Mm-hmm. What you ended up getting was complete wellness with your body and your mental wellness. Mm-hmm. And so I really like that. And so you told me before we turned on the recording that a lot of people were just throwing supplements at you and saying, hey, try this, try that. And were you trying other options?
Oh, yeah. Now, in my whole life, I've been the worst at taking supplements consistently. I'd try them here and there, but when you're not feeling the difference, it's so hard to know, am I just throwing money away? I read something about America has the most expensive toilets, that most of what we're taking is going. So I just didn't know. I just thought, this was like so quick for me. Now it's different for everybody because our body, depending on how dysbiotic, how out of balance our microbiome is, it might take someone longer, it might, I've had people that it's taken 3-4 months, but man, I'll tell you what happened, 11 months, 5 months later, I was weaned off all 11 medications,
Wow.
all of them.
That's
That was massive. 11 months later, I was told I was in remission. I still have the antibodies, but there's no active sign of it happening. And that's been 5 years now. So that's amazing. And so my goal for me is to keep this communication between my gut and my brain and my heart, and to the messages that help our bodies to function as healthy as possible, to keep those functioning as healthy as possible. So there's so many great things that you can do that I've learned. So excited about it. So excited about sharing it with people.
And that's really why I wanted your story, because I want everyone to understand all of the little bits and pieces, because each one of your little segments reaches a different person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just the one disease that you had, it was all of the contributing factors that you had. Mm-hmm. And that's where all of us are. So the leaky gut applies to about 99% of most Americans. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you can't just go grab a supplement off the shelf and hope it works. I'll try this, then I'll try that. And so, okay, so take us through what specific probiotic strains, how did you find it? And so you've already told us how it started working, and all of a sudden, your skin is loosening, it's becoming soft and supple again, mm-hmm. which is just a beautiful picture. And so you found some supplements, and it's all about the gut-brain axis. It's about the microbiome. So tell us more about that, because everyone's been with their pen and their paper ready, is Annette going to let her tell me what she's taking? So,
I love that you're asking me these questions, because it helps get me focused on something that I really wanted to share. And that is, once we get our guts, there are certain probiotics that you can take that will help the integrity of your gut lining, so that things that were never intended to go out into your bloodstream are going out. Okay. That's massive. That right there is worth everything. And then once you get that healed, then your body has more of a chance to fight the different things that are happening. And it's just been, we're not going to live forever, and I'm not going to get better and better and better to where there's nothing ever wrong. But there's so much more that we can do than we realize, and so much more opportunity for healing than we realize. And I just want to say to people, please look at the things that Annette's trying to teach you here, because honestly, these are life-changing things, and they can really, really make all the difference. So can I say?
Yes. Yeah, they waited long enough. So go ahead and share some what you did.
The products that I use are Amari products. And there are a lot of companies out there that have gut products. There are a lot of companies that have products to help your brain, and a lot of products that might help your immune system. This is the first company that has ever combined into one system, a gut-brain axis system. We have all of the systems: the gastrointestinal, the circulatory, the nervous system. Help me out. What are all the systems? The endocrine system. All of these systems that we need to work for our bodies to be healthy. This system, the gut-brain axis system that we're working with, is the motherboard to all of it. It really is the motherboard to all of it. You get this working better, and every one of those other systems will start working better. Will you be working better? Will it cure you? I can't say that. I don't know. All I know is that I was very sick.
Yeah.
I was very, very, very sick. I was literally dying. I knew it, and I was scared to death. And now I feel healthy. And I'm so grateful for it. So it's worth a try,
Yeah. So not just Amari's now has quite a few products, and you can almost get lost on the website. And so I know that you use what's called the fundamentals.
Right.
And that's exactly where I started, because when you and I started the products, that's all they had. It's
Mhm.
like, but it was all we needed. It was
Yeah.
what we were looking for. It
Mhm.
was what I love how you called it the motherboard, because it's like, yeah, that
Yeah.
describes it. So make sure, so you took the Menabiotics powder, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Did you do it once or twice a day?
I just did it once a day.
So
I
just what it says, you didn't like
Yeah.
do a
No,
therapeutic dose,
no, I
right? And
didn't.
then did you do the Menta Focus and the Menta Sync?
Mhm.
Did you do anything else?
I did. There's a Vita GBX that I feel like
Yeah.
is just critical. Vitamins, I didn't understand, like I said, but to get a really, really good vitamin, if you're interested in looking for one, this one has what we have a proprietary bright mind blend in it that helps your brain and helps keep this gut brain axis functioning 24/7. And so I feel like it's kind of like the foundation piece to the fundamentals. So a lot of people, I've had people go on just the fundamentals, and if they don't have a healthy a nutritional foundation, it takes them longer.
Yeah.
And then I add that. I say, try, Kate, be sure to have this too. And that actually fills in those holes that are then makes the other products be able to work better. And so I feel like that's key.
What about Mood Plus? Did you take that also?
Yes, I did. I still do. I take that one twice a day. And so I do take that one more than it says 2 a day. I take 2 in the morning and 2 at night. I also have another product that I know has made a massive difference for my inflammation in my body, and that's our relief product. I also take that one twice a day.
Yeah.
So incredible products. And you know what, Annette, I love about our products is that the science behind them. We're not just, the reason these are working is because the studies that have been done on the ingredients that are in them, and the level of the ingredients that are in them are exactly what they were used in the study. A lot of places will say, well, we're using this, but it's at a half of what, the study was used. Or it would be what's the word for vitamins, or, okay, I can't even think of what it is. So I'm not going to go there.
That's all right. Okay. So I think really that's where I wanted us to get to.
Okay.
I wanted us to see why it makes such a difference. So you led into the fact that, you can't just take any random probiotic, because science has exploded and we understand so much more about the microbiome and the specific strains.
Mm-hmm.
And so these specific strains they work to heal the lining of the gut. They work to heal the leaky gut, all of that. And then for that mental clarity, I mean, and so many people need that. And so I really
just say one more thing really quick?
Yes, please do.
I took these products like my life depended on them. Okay. I didn't miss, just like I didn't miss on all of the medications that my doctor had prescribed for me, but it wasn't working. I know that part of why I was able to fight this so well was because I did not give up. I did not give up at 5 months when I was able to wean off my medications. I didn't give up at 11 months when I was told I was in remission. I take these like every day, every morning, every night. I take my supplements that I know are helping me. And I know that oftentimes people will try something, and we're in such a mindset in our world where we just think, I just want to take this one thing, and take a pill, and I just want to feel better, and that's it. Don't ask me to change anything. Don't ask me to change how I've been living my life that got me where I'm at. So there's so much more that I think that we can do even than these products. And I just have such a belief in that. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
It does. And it does. And you mentioned it earlier that, you still have, antibodies that want to take you down that road. So it's not just a matter of bringing on the healing and having that effect and that blessing, but it's like recognizing, okay, there are some strains, there are some things that happen in our body that can still show their face.
Mm-hmm.
If
Absolutely.
we don't keep them in control.
Right. Absolutely.
That's important.
So just feeling better, we don't quit. We keep going. We keep
Right.
going with what, in fact, personally, I don't know. Some people will say, well, how can you afford that? And I'm going, how can I afford not to? I'll tell you what.
Yes.
If you think these products are expensive, you try dying. You try losing your business. You try all of these things that, they are priceless to me. They are priceless to me.
Well
so
said.
It's funny how we find the money for the things we want.
Right.
We go out to eat $50,
Yes.
It's like, so what if I have to not go out to eat? What if I have to, save in other places so that I can take care of myself? It's so critical. It's so critical.
It is. To live, to enjoy life.
Yeah.
And, and look at you. You look amazing. And if we lived closer, I'd have you be my makeup and hair specialist. I'm like, oh, that's a long drive just to get my hair done, but it might be worth it. So, at least I met you many years ago. We were in Costa Rica, and I heard your story, and it's always been a story that I've never forgotten, because you're a living, breathing example of what can happen when we give our body what it needs. And yes, sometimes that's supplements to bring that therapeutic effect, and then we care for it like we should, and we get to enjoy and finish our mission well. Thank you so much for being a part of this today. It's been my delight to have you, and I've enjoyed you ever since I first met you, and I'm looking forward to many more years of our friendship. So thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you. I really appreciate you asking me, Annette. Thank you.
Well, I know you loved that interview as much as I did. And I had to keep pulling more and more out from Leisa and her story so that you truly got the full, complete picture. When the gut is not healthy, healing is not going to happen. Of course, God can override all of that and bring healing anytime he desires. Yet he's also given us nutrients to help us heal our body. And he can teach us in his word the food that is good, that's going to bring healing. And we can reach for that instead of reaching for processed foods and stress and anxiety. When we heal the gut, everything begins to be healthy as well. Skin is beautiful. And as you can see, Leisa is a very beautiful woman, both inside and out. Thank you for letting me share this story with Leisa, with you. And if you'd like to hear more, or if you'd like to check out the products that she's referring to, I'll put a link down below. I will also put her connection too, if you want to talk to Leisa, because I know she wants to help as many people as possible. So check down below for a link for the products that she used, and also to contact her for more questions. Thank you for letting me share with you God's recipe for excellent health. Your health matters, and God created your body to heal. We just need to pay attention to how our body is speaking to us. And if you haven't already, go to biblicalnutritionacademy.com. That's where all of our courses are. And I would start either with Treasures of Healthy Living Bible Study to see what the Bible says about healthy living, or I would go to the nutrition assessment to start assessing your own health and how you can make changes that are all suggested in that course of how you can start feeling better. Thank you for letting me share this with you. Remember, most important ingredient to God's recipe is God loves you with an amazing love. It's an everlasting love. He's just asking you to let him have a relationship with you. He doesn't force himself on you. Yet he created you very uniquely. He created you male or female, and he has a special purpose for you. Thanks for watching.